I'm going to do some education to start the stream, because I've been meaning to record this video, and I keep fucking forgetting, and then I got the footage earlier today, and I didn't want to edit, so I'm just going to do it on stream. I didn't think of a fucking intro. So who wants to talk about holes? Nope, that's not the intro. That is dumb as fuck. All right. So if you've been watching our streams recently, you've been noticing that Peptic and, all of Siege Squad have been doing very different things lately, such as that. And you might be wondering, why the fuck would you do that? That's not useful at all. Well, that's where you're wrong. I'm AntaresVriska, and I'm here to teach you about holes in Siege. As a very start, this right here, let me clean it up a bit. That is a foothole. At first glance, that might just look like a waste of time. That is not a waste of time. What a foothole does is when you're attacking, you're going to have to push up and, get near this door or wherever you want to get in. But if there's a foothold here, you are now aware that defenders can see outside of there, and you really can't. So now you are nervous to walk across that foothole. Alternatively, if you're attacking, you could prone and try to take the duel here, but then you are slow in front of a sight line that you have no intel about, and that is the worst position you ever want to be in. Alternatively, when you... Actually, you know what? Further illustrate my point. Alternatively, when you are defending and you have a foothold like this, if you hear the barbed wire start to go off, or you see feet coming through, there is nothing stopping you from just... and getting a kill off that. And the enemy can't do anything about it because they don't know where you are. You could be over here. You could be over here. Nope, not over here, actually. You could be over here. You could be playing some real wacky shit. And you could be there. But that angle didn't make sense either. So I don't know why I showed it. Anyway, yeah. Footholes. The place that they are the strongest is any area where you have a lot of space to prone. Like in this villa site here, where you could be any of these angles. And where the enemy cannot do the same thing. Because if you're proning here, you are out in the open. You're taking a wide angle. And, you're just in trouble doing this. Foothole. That's the first hole we're going to talk about. Second hole we're going to talk about. This right here. This is a rotate hole. Why is it a rotate hole? Because the job of the rotate hole is so that you can go from point A to point B very safely, very securely. Because let's say the enemy has taken all of B site, all right? Let's say they've taken B site, they're holding this angle. They're holding this angle. I don't know why they'd be holding this angle. They're holding this angle. They basically have all their eyes on the vault door, which is the only way to get between A and B. But let's say the enemy's in B, they're watching vault. They don't know you have this rotate. They don't know what paths your team has created. So you have this path that you could take the duel. You could come from there and take the duel. You could come from vault and psych them out with the rotate and take the duel and win. The big thing about rotates is you need rotates between sites. If you don't have rotates between your sites, you're in trouble because they're going to go, hey, they have no rotates. Rush B. And now it's just you trying to fight this vault door. And meanwhile, they're planting over here because you can't push vault door. They're probably planting over here because you can't push vault door. And you've got Nomad just shooting there. You can't move. That is what you want rotates for. Do not reinforce between sites, because then you can't make rotates. Specifically, there are two kinds of rotates. Two kind of rotates you want to learn. There are crouch rotates, like this, where you have to crouch to go through it, or sprint rotates, which you can. Hole. Hey, Void, we're learning about hole. Alternatively, you can make a sprint rotate, which in theory you could do. They're not the worst. They're not preferable. Why are they not preferable? Let's say the enemy has pushed A and they're trying to clear you out. If you are sitting here and the enemy has to go through a crouch rotate to get you, what they have to do now is this. They have to peek very, very slow. They have to be very careful how they approach it. Because going into a fight crouching is slow and you will die. But if you are sitting there and there's a sprint rotate instead, congratulations, you just got pre-fired. So yeah, sprint rotates. Not the worst, but try to avoid them so that you don't get, thatted. All right, so we've covered footholds. We've covered rotates. Next hole, and a pretty fucking important hole. Head holes. That's a reinforced wall. Head holes are, as they sound, head height. If you play Mira, you make these all the fucking time. The point of a head hole is literally to take duels and make the enemy uncomfortable. Because if the enemy's going for an A push here, if they made it to the door, foothold didn't work, there's now this head hole where you could peek from. And they know that you can peek from it. So as they're trying to scan the room, you might also be there that they can't expose you to. Like, they could go, they could scan this whole room. They could, clear, no one behind pool table. No one behind bar. That's fine. If there's a head hole, to clear you out of that head hole, they basically have to go, hey, anyone? One friendly op standing. Literally, if you make these head holes, preferably near rotates to make them even more uncomfortable, you can now, if they're pushing this door, you can just, brip, bap, bap. They start to challenge that. That. Now they don't know where the fuck to expect you from. There are now 2 possible angles that you could come from, and there's nothing stopping you from using both of them. This is what makes Mira windows so fucking deadly. I'm almost out of ammo. So head holes. Try to do them. Especially anywhere you want the enemy to be uncomfortable to push. Like this right here. If I saw a head hole when I was pushing into this... Hold on. Actually, I'm going to go in that room to demonstrate. Because it's better to show just as is. Let's say I'm an attacker. Let's say I'm not detected. Let's say I'm an attacker. If I'm trying to clear this out, they could get me from this angle, so I need to watch that. They could get me from this angle. They could get me from this angle. In a default setup, there would be another hole here. So now, they could get me from that angle. They could get me from that angle. I don't know where they are. They can take these duels comfortably. That is the purpose of the head hole. It is a fucking strong thing to learn. And a strong thing to get comfortable doing. The last type of hole. The very last one. And it depends on who you play. For some people it's important, for some it's not. High holes. The purpose of a high hole. You are never really going to shoot through it. What it's mostly for is utility. I didn't mean to hit the button, but I did make it. The point of a hole that high is so you can throw your utilities safely. Like smokes, frags. The most common thing is nitros when you're Mira. Because if you've got your Mira here, oh, they're coming this way. Yeet, and then you blow it up. That's really the only thing these holes are good for. That's pretty much it. That is pretty much how to make holes as a defender. That's really all I've got. So yeah, start making holes when you defend. Please. It makes life so much fucking... I know it's scary to make holes into sight, because then you're like, oh, the enemy can see into sight. Oh, the enemy can see into this sight. If you are making holes like this, it is to control this room by making the enemy too uncomfortable to actually be in here. Because let's say really quick that the enemy has reinforced this. They have reinforced this. The enemy has no sight lines into this room except here and except here. So there is nothing stopping you as an attacker from just going, clear, clear. That's it. As an attacker, you control the room. But if there are holes like this, you are now basically making it dangerous to exist in that room. That is the point of holes like that. A foothole, you can see if someone's in the room when they can't see you. Head hole, you can immediately challenge anyone trying to take the room. Just holes in walls are extremely fucking powerful. Like, do not reinforce every single wall. Try to use some of them for holes. it will change how people approach attacking sites that you control. Like, if we reinforce all of this, they just come in. Thermite comes up to here. He puts his thing. Get! And then it does the sparks. Psh! Boom. This is the boom. This is the thermite hole. Thermite breached your site. Now thermite can come in. Beep, 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 beep. There, thermite's planted. Because you didn't make holes. You didn't control this room with holes. You gave it to them. There was nothing stopping them from just pressing W and beep, beep, beep. Now the bomb's defused, and now your Capcan's flaming you in chat, and now you're tempted to uninstall the game for the 3rd time this season. Make your fucking holes.